Merry Christmas, and welcome back to my channel's Season Script. Do you ever feel sad after Christmas Day has passed? There is so much build-up to that one singular day that it can leave us feeling slightly blue, knowing we have to wait an entire year for it to come around again. But good news! Contrary to our modern Western tradition, it is still Christmas. Christmas Day may have passed, but did you know that the season of Christmas has just begun? The ancient and traditional celebration of Christmas begins on Christmas Day and lasts for 12 days following Christmas, ending on January 6th, which in the Christian calendar is Epiphany. That's when the wise guys show up. In this video, I'm going to go over some of the traditions of the Christmas season and hopefully provide you with ideas on how you can implement them into your celebration. The 12 days of Christmas are traditionally days of feasts and festivals. December 26th is the Feast of St. Stephen, the first Christian martyr. This day is typically celebrated with acts of charity and giving to the poor. You can read about St. Stephen in Acts chapter 6 and 7 of the New Testament. December 27th is the Feast of St. John the Apostle, who according to tradition is said to have drank wine poisoned by a pagan priest who tests his faith. St. John blessed the wine, and the poison had no effect on him, although that same wine had killed 2 others as demonstrated just moments before he drank it. The pagan priest later then converted to Christianity. This feast day is celebrated by drinking wine before dinner. The father of the house leads his household in a toast known as the love of John. The wine is also a symbol of the great love of Christ that filled St. John's heart with loyalty, courage, and enthusiasm for Jesus. December 28th is the Childermas, or the Feast of the Holy Innocents. This is the day to remember and reflect on the murdered children in Bethlehem by King Herod in an attempt to kill the baby Jesus. It's remembered by allowing children to dictate the fun activities the family gets to do that day. In the past, the parents and children swapped roles, and the children were in charge for the entire day. December 29th and 30th have many traditions and feasts in various parts of the world that change depending on the region. I would recommend you create your own tradition on these days and the days not marked with special celebrations or feasts in this 12-day period. December 31st, New Year's Eve, and the 7th day of Christmas were celebrated by playing several kinds of sports and games. In fact, in England in the early 1500s, Henry VIII made a law that working men could only play certain games, including football, tennis, dice, and cards, at Christmas. So they had to make the most of their opportunity. January 1st, the 8th day of Christmas, was the day designated to give gifts. Not Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, but actually on the 8th day of Christmas. In the medieval period, peasants would give gifts to their lords and their kings and queens. Monarchs would often give various kinds of gifts back to their subjects as well. January 5th, the 12th night of Christmas, and the night before Epiphany, which is the coming of the wise men to visit the baby Jesus, who actually was probably a toddler by this point, was celebrated with huge feasts and festivals. The Tudors people celebrated it with a 12th night cake. It was a huge fruit cake that was baked with a coin or dried bean hidden in the mixture on each half of the cake. Men and women took slices from opposite sides of the cake, and whoever found the bean or coin in their piece became the king or queen of the bean. It was their job to host the evening's entertainment of singing, dancing, and games. January 6th, Epiphany, the final day of Christmas. After church services, a feast was shared together. The traditional meal was roasted lamb and Epiphany tart, which is similar to a jam tart that was made in the shape of a star. Although Epiphany marked the end of the Christmas season, depending on the time period of history and geographical location, some cultures would leave their Christmas decorations up until February 2nd, which is known as Candlemas. Candlemas is the commemoration of the presentation of Jesus at the temple. How amazing is that? Christmas is so much more than just one simple day that passes so quickly every year. It's more than a feeling, and it's more than cute stories about Santa Claus and flying reindeer, although I do personally like those stories as well. It's the daily celebration of the renewed life in Christ that we live in every day, because Jesus was born. I hope that you'll take the time to slow down and enjoy this season of Christmas. Maybe keep your decorations up longer this year instead of rushing to take them down. Celebrate the feasts of St. Stephen and St. John. Find ways that you and your family can implement some of these traditions into your household and enjoy the celebrations longer. Merry Christmas from my family to yours.